Do you believe, I want a yes or no, because it seems like conspiracy nutters like yourself, unfortunately, can't get a straight answer whenever I pose you a direct question. Do you believe that the local protests in Epping are caused by Zionism?
The local protests?
No, yes. Okay. How?
Indirectly, Zionists control this country.
Okay.
So Zionists control the immigration.
Was it the one?
Country.
Okay. These are local organic protests not organised by any official or MP or political spokesperson or commentator. So how does Sueva Braverman, controlled by Zionists apparently,
well, she's married to
cause?
She's married to one. She lives in Bushy and her children attend the synagogue.
Everything that you say in terms of Zionism, I'm just going to assume to be the case, and then I still want you to prove how that is causing migrant hotel protests.
Indirectly.
How?
Indirectly, like Zionism, right, which goes through three phases. The first phase of Zionism was liberalism, right? Then it moved to supremacy. How? Well, before, round about time 1948 onwards, they became supremacists. Before that, there was liberal.
Okay, how is liberalisation caused by? So liberalisation is the result of the.
I'm not going to finish. You want me to explain it?
No,
and
because
I'll tell you the three steps.
You said three steps.
Yeah, and I want to finish the three steps.
No, I want to go
step
by step.
No.
Do you know what you're committing?
At the end of it,
it's called the Texas shotgun fallacy.
Whatever.
Giving me several different points in the attempt that you wanted for me to respond. So, liberalism is just simply caused by the revival movement of Christianity within the West. Has nothing to do with Israel.
Nothing to do with Christianity. It's secular.
Okay, that's my point. My point being is that liberalism is caused by a Christian-rooted movement. It's not caused by Zionists.
I don't believe it has been caused.
Okay, give me the proof.
Well, it's secular and it's satanic.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Satanism actually comes.
When I related Zionism to
Satanism. Okay, Satanism, or no, rather, liberalism and secularism derives from a sect of paganism in which they worship knowledge coming into France, right? France, England, Germany. These are the predominant countries which started the liberalism movement. So you need to prove to me that somehow Judaism, or rather Zionism, the secular movement of Jewish people, somehow caused liberalism.
They was never Jewish.
Okay, so Zionists.
They wasn't always Zionists either.
How did they cause liberalism?
But that's what they was. It's a trick.
Who?
They came over as a liberalist movement.
Who?
Zionists.
Who?
Zionists.
What Zionists?
Thomas Herzl, and he was the first one who designed it, and he probably got assassinated.
When was he born?
I don't know when he was born. He died around about 1904.
1904.
And that's basically.
So you think 1904 is when liberalism started?
Theodore Herzl.
Because I could tell you that.
No. Theodore Herzl created international Zionism. They had the first meeting.
No. I'm talking about liberalism. I'm talking about liberalism.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Zionism.
You said the first. You said the first. Zionism. No, you said the first step of Zionism is in introducing liberalism.
Yeah,
right?
it's liberal Zionism, right? So
what is okay? So it's not liberalism. It's liberal Zionism.
All inclusive.
Okay,
yeah.
so liberal Zionism.
Let's go through the stages. You wanted me to prove how Suella Braverman activated, and I'm showing you through Zionism.
I asked you how did Zionism cause migrant hotel protests?
Well, I'll tell you.
Go on then.
Right, so what happens is we had the first stage of Zionism, it's directly linked with Suella Braverman.
Okay.
And then what happens is it changes to a supremacist ideology. Right, and we saw this supremacy ideology right up until about 2001, when it goes into its barbarous ideology. These are the three stages of Zionism.
So you
Liberal Zionism, supremacist Zionism, and then barbarism Zionism. And it started at 9/11, probably, it might be before that, when we know that Zionists were behind the Twin Towers coming down.
Okay.
The Zionist Mossad and the Zionist-controlled CIA.
Okay, so how does this cause migrant hotel protests?
Because the horrific scenes that are shown by the Zionist TV that control our news agenda get the people to go along with a war on terrorism. Hold on. When a few months after they decide they're going to invade 7 Muslim countries and destroy them in 5 years.
Okay.
Right. This is all based on the war of terror against Islam. So, and people go along with it. Anyone who doesn't go along with it, all the Middle Eastern countries were forced to put American bases in their land. Because
you notice how the war on terror is a justification for why we should go into the Middle East, and it's
part.
No. Hold on. I allowed you to speak, so allow me to speak. So, again, this is what conspiracy nutters do. they find two facts that try to link one another, and you try to say that the first event is the cause of another. No, I'm not, because I'm allowing you.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. It is a fact. It is a fact. Zionism was behind the Twin Towers.
Hold on.
You saying that Zionism wasn't behind the Twin Towers?
1 second.
Are you saying that Zionism?
On the topic.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. You're asking me about 9/11 when you're talking about migrant hotels.
Well, that's the barbarism of
no, it's not
Zionism.
barbarism. It's you going off your nuts. Now, you notice how I can call you a conspiracy theorist and you're still allowed to speak. I allow you to hold to your stupid opinions, but I can say they're stupid nonetheless. Now, look, you tried to say that Zionism caused migrant hotel protests.
Yes.
Now,
through the brainwashing.
No, hold on. Allow me to speak. Allow me to speak. Now, do you agree that the Ethiopian that violently sexually assaulted that 14-year-old should have been allowed into this country?
No.
Okay. And you're against the Zionist movement, right?
Yeah, it's a
so
Zionist.
Notice how you can come to the conclusion that immigration is a problem without supposedly being controlled by the Zionist state.
I was in the BNP.
Okay.
So I would be against immigration.
Okay, great.
And
so
it was Nick Griffin.
How does that then mean that Zionism is causing these migrant hotel protests if you can come to the same conclusion of migration that these local residents are, even without the Zionist-controlled propaganda?
Because they're all mind-controlled.
But apparently you're mind-controlled again, because you're coming to the same conclusion.
No, I don't watch mainstream media.
Do you believe that migration is a problem?
I believe that Zionism is a bigger problem.
No. Do you believe migration is a problem?
It's illegal.
Okay, great. So the protesters disagree with migration. He disagrees with migration.
They only agree with Muslim migration. Hold on. They only agree with Muslim migration.
Was the Ethiopian a Muslim?
Oh, yeah, probably.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, I don't know.
He was a Christian.
Yes.
So,
which Ethiopian are you talking about?
The Ethiopian that raped the 14-year-old in Epping. He was a Christian.
Do you know that?
Yes. Okay. So, you notice how the local residents of this community don't want male-only asylum applicants. You agree as well. No. It is male-only asylum applicants that I have a problem with. And you're the one who's saying that I have made a career out of myself for protests that supposedly are caused out of anti-Zionist propaganda machine. So my problem to you is that for whatever reason,
Tommy Robinson.
I mean, I support him as a person because he's personally, because he's personally helped me.
Even though he's a Zionist shield.
Well, no, because he's personally helped me. That's why.
Oh, he's personally helped you. So, and you actually accepted the help of a Zionist shield.
Well, I just think that regardless of what people believe in, if they're helping you, you shouldn't bite the hand that fed you.
How did he help you?
How do you help me? I just made sure I was okay with my homeless situation. No, I never said I was paid.
You have?
I was never said I was paid.
When you get help, it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, he just made sure I wasn't homeless, that's why.
Oh, he made sure you wasn't homeless.
Yeah. You notice how that's on the opposite end of being paid.
I know people that have helped him out, and then when he come out, because he never goes in prison, Tommy Robinson. You see Street Mike over there, he was outside the prison when he supposedly come out.
Yeah.
Did you see, go and have a look at the video.
Do you think he was falsely arrested?
He did, look.
For showing a documentary about a genuine story.
Look, it's all a game. It's a Shakespearean play that
Wait, so you think that he wasn't arrested for breaching conditions?
This country is controlled by Zionists, right? Tommy Robinson
you just can't speak to these people.
Because you don't like my narrative.
No, I don't like the fact that you can have your opinions on Israel and Palestine. I don't personally take a problem with it. But every time that an issue is brought up that isn't related to Israel and Palestine, they have to relate it back to Palestine or Israel.
Everything is wildly connected. On the right.
You don't understand.
No, I just think that what you do.
By the way, the thing that you said about male-only migrants coming, right? So you think that these men should stay at home and send their wives and children on dangerous voyages across the world?
No,
because I guarantee if that was happening, you would still have a problem.
No,
you would be saying, look at these weak men sending their women
So
and
you
children
asked me a question.
to secure
Are you going to answer my question? So I never used the common stereotype that, well, why are they not sending their women and children?
But you say you have a problem with
No, yeah, and you can ask me. The reason being is that we saw an increase in asylum applicants after Brexit when we did not have a successful trade over from the Dublin Trade Agreement. In which case, it allowed people who were originally in European countries to then come here to claim asylum, when originally we shared it across European countries, and the first country they went to is where they claimed asylum. So the reason why I have an issue with it is because it's traditionally the males that are using a system that we should blame the government for having a broken asylum application system.
My point is, if the men stayed at home and they sent their women and children,
it was never the problem I had.
No, but if that was the case, what would you say of
right now?
What would you say of that? And
what
the numbers
were
exactly the same. The supposed strain on the state is exactly the same. But it's women and children.
Yeah, I would prefer because
you prefer it. Why?
Yeah. Well, because I like the fact.
So you would like.
I like the fact that males who could actually potentially better the countries that they were currently going to or fleeing from, whilst we were actually trying to provide.
So, you probably don't know enough then.
No, because I do know. So if you don't interrupt me.
You think Syrian men?
The reason why
you think Syrian men could stay in Syria and actually have an impact on the way America and parts of Europe run those countries and pretend that they're run by terrorists.
Yeah, why do you think supposedly they run it? It's because those countries are vulnerable. If these countries weren't vulnerable,
why are they
wouldn't
vulnerable?
Be. Well, because you have degrees of intervention and degrees of corruption.
Do you want to say a bit more about that?
No, those are the two reasons. Now, back on your original point of, why do I have an issue with male-only application? Is because it's been made so easy to do so. I mean, you look at the number of people who claim they're Christian and get baptized here. Anecdotally, I can tell you, every single male-only hotel I've been to, they all claim they're Christian just so they can claim they're fleeing persecution. I mean, the reason why women and children stay in these countries is because they're in the camps of those countries that they're in whilst the men leave. So the reason why I want the women and children instead of the men is because those women and children, regardless if they're in safe camps or not, are traumatized by the conflicts in these areas. I would prefer to spend the same amount of money of protecting children from potentially being traumatized.
So it'd be fine then if we did a little switch. If we went, let's just bring women and children.
It'd be better.
But would it be okay?
Yeah, it'd be okay.
You?
Yeah.
Be fine with it?
Yeah.
So it's just men you're worried about? So are you into the great replacement thing?
I think it happens because we don't have enough children.
So you are? So scratch away and we start to see the great replacement.
So the reason why we have the great replacement theory is, firstly, if you look at the white British population, we're only having 1.53 children per family unit, which the replacement rate is 2.5. So the reason why we're having a replacement is an unintentional population collapse like that in South Korea and Japan.
Unintentional what?
It is unintentional. It's the fact that we're not having children. And then you add that up with foreign cultures coming here that have 2.5 children per family unit.
Aren't having children?
Just like the surrounding culture that we kind of live in.
That's too broad.
Yeah, so we live in a culture which firstly kind of teaches that sex from a young age is to be accepted. If you look into our education system, for example.
Which would lead to a higher population, surely?
No, because when you have sex education in such a way that you say that it's expected for young people to have sex, then you intercept contraception.
Have you got kids?
I'm 17.
Right, okay. So
I'm a virgin, yes. Okay, so when you have sex education, I thought that's what you asked, sorry. If you have sex education from a young age, right? What happens then is that you have contraception. Now, I'm fine with sex education from a young age. I think it's taught a bit weirdly in the West, in which
contraception is a bad thing.
I think what it does, though, is it allows for, if you have a tethered culture to contraception, because I think contraception is absolutely fine. It allows for hookup culture.
And you think that humans wouldn't be doing that without any infrastructure around them?
I mean, if you
it's
look,
human behaviour, right?
You think it's human behaviour to have sex as many partners as humanly possible?
Dolphins.
Pardon?
No, we make our choices, but it's us and the
dolphins. Do you think it's human culture to have sex with as many people as humanly possible?
If you have a high libido and your social group allows.
Now, what you're mixing is what is in nature and what we should do. I mean, we could make the same argument that within nature we see animals killing each other. Should it then be our ordained right to start killing people for no reason?
That's nonsense. That's a misnomer, and you know it. It's like
no, because we see people have a low tolerance to anger. They'll act out on their anger a lot.
I'd like to say my point about why I think we're having less children is because look at the age that children are leaving home now. Have you seen how it's gone up and up and up and up? And now the average age in London to leave home is 24, 25. Okay. So people aren't getting the chance to buy a house, set up this cherished nuclear family.
Wait, so you're telling me the reason why we don't have children is because the parents of those children. It's because the parents.
I can only afford one kid.
Okay. So the reason why we're having less children is because, and that's not true. If you look at third world countries, for example, they have more children even though they can't afford it.
Yeah, expand on that.
Which means then that cost effectiveness is not a factor in how many children you should have.
Well, yeah, I'm from a council estate, 6 kids, loads of pets, nobody working. You know, they had lots of kids for whatever their reasons were.
No, but cultures which are significantly poorer tend to have more children.
Yeah, and why do you know why that is?
Because culture determines childbearing.
No, because in the cultures that I'm guessing you're talking about,
India, Pakistan,
Ireland,
Nigeria,
Ireland.
Pardon?
Ireland.
Ireland has a very low population.
No, but traditionally,
in fact, it hasn't still recovered from its famine days. So
right, okay. So the point I'm making is, if
culture determines child rates.
Right, yeah, okay, so the culture that we're talking about where child rates are high is, okay, let's have lots of kids because lots of them die in the conditions that those people are living in.
No, because even if you look at India and Pakistan, even if you look at India and Pakistan, their population pyramids were still significantly high, even considering their infant mortality rate. So my problem is that if you look across the spectrum of economics, it seems like the determining factor of childbearing is not economics, whether it's feasible to have children, but rather culture. So right now we do not have a strong religious culture in which childbearing is honoured.
Do you think the state should be able to dictate how many children you have?
No, but I think the state should give tax breaks and should give financial... Incentivize.
Which is on the scale of, right? It's a character stick. So you should, as a state,
Robert, it fosters a culture.
We would like to bring you this way.
Robert,
it's the state drawing you in a direction, right, which is a softer way of saying that you must.
No.
Right? You know what happened in China? They said, you must. Now
how are you comparing the two-child policy to tax breaks for having children?
In all fairness, one of the objectives of a state is to carry on the sovereignty, which you need a population for. Right. So it is in the state's incentive to want to encourage.
Look, for example, Japan is currently, for every one young person, they need to care for 3 elderly people. Yeah. And in South Korea,
that's just part of.
That's terrible.
That's just longevity. We've got more old people here now than we've ever had.
Exactly. And what's happening in Japan and South Korea is what's going to happen in the West when we have old people outpopulate younger people, and that then means that we have a social welfare collapse, in which case we don't have enough social care workers to take care of the elderly.
Welcome to capitalism.
Yeah. That's not capitalism. It's not capitalism. It's not capitalism. And that's why we need to make sure that we're having children in order not to rely on immigration.
In order to not do what?
Pardon?
In order to not do what?
In order to not rely on immigration.
Right. Why not just have both?
Well, because I would prefer for us to have more children and not essentially extinct ourselves.
Extinct ourselves?
We are becoming extinct. Look at London. 36.8% of London is now white British. That is a huge decrease.
36.8% of London is now white British.
And that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even include the Boris wave that came in and whatnot.
So
what? We're going extinct in our own country.
We're going extinct in the sense that what? Like there won't be white people left?
There won't be the native white British people left. That's what's going to happen. So what? That's our ancestry. That's our homeland. We should be preserving that.
You know, the land and the ancestry still all exist, even if like other people come.
Well, yeah, but that's essentially saying that you have empty buildings to represent a history. But I would rather a people to survive, right? I mean, if you look at what we like, do you favour multiculturalism?
Yeah. I guess.
So the reason why you do is because you like different cultures, right? Mixing it together. Okay, cool.
Sure.
Is not one culture the native culture of this land?
I mean, you know, there are nuanced questions about what it means for a culture to be native, but I get your point.
Yeah. Okay. Point being is it's inconsistent for your position to be of multiculturalism to say that we must have this conjunction of different cultures, then say that we don't care about what happens to the native culture of this land. And the people is what preserves the culture. And I'll tell you this, the example would just be migration. People bring in their culture through migrating to different lands. You agree with that as well. So the people is what preserves a culture. If you want multiculturalism, that therefore means that you must preserve this culture.
Yeah, but you know, like I have loads and loads of like Muslim friends who are British Muslim, but they're British.
Yeah, but
they're as British.
But do you know why? Do you know
they just have brown skin?
British Muslim is a perfect example of why I don't believe multiculturalism
Well, so just to be clear, a lot of the ones that I have in mind aren't actually Muslims because they deviated so much.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Their parents
Integration.
They're not religiously Muslim.
Integration means that their system, their framework of thinking, their culture, their everything is assimilated, is kind of put into this British homeland. Now, if they have to change their beliefs in order to make it more compatible, that then means that it's not something that has integrated, it has changed. And that's why I believe that Islam
have integrated as a point.
No, the idea, I don't believe that people who are Muslim can integrate with the West.
I've just told you that I know people
they've changed. They're not Muslim anymore.
Yeah.
They're drinking, they're having girlfriends.
But they also like
they're no longer a Muslim.
but they also like
they've had to change their religion.
The measure of Britishness to have drinks and girls.
Shag and booze.
No. My point being is that if they have to come here and then change their beliefs, that means that they're not integrated.
It kind of happens naturally. That is what. But that kind of part. There are also lots.
Why do you think they're doing these things? Why do you think they're not marrying kids and having sex with their cousins?
Fucking what?
Well, that's what Islam teaches.
Because they go. Well, so in the case of the people that I'm thinking about, they went to school. They went to school with lots of other different kinds of people.
Yeah, and they've decided to change their culture to something that's more appropriate to what they've been born in.
I'm not sure when you're that young, it's like a decision like you sit down and you make a pro and cons list of like Muslim and British culture.
No, that's what we're doing unintentionally.
It's a process.
Because you're seeing Islam, and Islam teaches the most despicable things in my opinion. And you look at the West and they say, well, I'm going to do this instead of this. That's not integration, that's change.
So the people have,
Point being is, I don't believe Islam is compatible with the West because it can't be in the West without changing itself.
So the thing is, you're mixing up two things, right? You're talking about the religion and then the people.
No,
I'm talking about the people.
Yeah, no,
I don't care.
And I
don't
agree.
Really give a shit.
If these people are changing their religion,
Do you want to preserve the Church of England?
no, I want to preserve the true church.
But the thing is,
I
but
think
there's a contradiction. in what you're saying.
I think that King Charles should go back to his Eastern Orthodox roots and completely remove the Church of England as the Church of the state and make it Eastern Orthodox.
So you believe in cultural evolution?
No.
Oh, but you just...
No, I said he should go back to his roots.
Yeah, but
Back to his Eastern Orthodox roots. That's a backward step. That's going back. Okay, so the Church of England allowing for the ordination of female priests is there. Then the Eastern Orthodox Church is here. He's going back to his roots.
So here's a question. You were talking about immigration, right?
Yeah.
And I just, as an example, there's people, it's anecdotal, the people that I know, and I know there are a lot of them as well, it's not just people I know, that are of Muslim heritage, but kind of lose touch with parts of their religion and become fully British. Yeah. So the thing is, if the people can come and change in the way that you think is morally good, why would you not let them come here?
Because my problem is this: that firstly, the ones that we don't let here are the ones who aren't changing. For the ones who are, they're no longer Muslim, which is not my problem. Now, for the ones who aren't, that's the problem I have.
What about people?
And even then, them changing their religion is just an act of dishonesty. They're trying to do it. So, for example, in Speaker's Corner here, you'll try to see people trying to defend child marriage within the park in such a way in which it doesn't directly address the fact that their religion allows to do so. So there's several points. Firstly, people change their religion in order to infiltrate and try to indoctrinate people into their beliefs.
You think the people that I'm talking about are doing?
No, I'm talking about the people in the park.
Oh, right.
For your friends who are doing
but I mean, mate, this is full of fucking weirdos.
For those,
this does not represent the whole country.
No, but
you can't use this as
no. But there have been people here who have been radicalised by Andrew Trowdrick.
Yeah, that's fine, mate. But you can't use.
But those are people. Andrew Trowdrick's never been to Speaker's Corner, but he's radicalising people here in Speaker's Corner.
You can't use the shit that's going on here, where it's full of freaks, me included.
Yes, I can, because how many cameras are there? How many cameras are there?
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Okay, so
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, count phones,
and they're on how many platforms? He's on X, he's on YouTube, he's probably on Snapchat or TikTok or whatever. And my point being is that if we have Muslims who are intentionally changing their religion, one second. So there are several Muslims here who have attacked me, who have mugged me, who have stolen my things.
Oh yeah, that's all bad.
Hold on, who have been radicalised by Andrew Trowdrick. And the reason why they're changing their religion, or rather weakening their rhetoric, is out of the act of trying to radicalize people in a position of comfort. Now, for those people, they're equally as wrong as the people who don't change their religion for the sake of coming here into the West. Now,
repeat the last thing again, sorry. Say it again.
For those people who are lying to themselves.
Why are they lying to themselves?
Well, they're lying to themselves in trying to weaken the rhetoric of their religion to then make people radicalize into their religion, and for those people, they're just as worse are the ones who won't change their religion.
Yeah, mate, I'm not talking about people that
hold on, I'll get into those group of people in a minute.
You need to do it really quickly.
Okay, and for those people that you're talking about, the ignorant Muslims who go out to the pubs, who drink, who have girlfriends, they're no longer Muslim. They've completely changed themselves. They have integrated well, but it's no longer integration. They've completely removed their Islamic roots.
So when people talk about integration, they're talking about people integrating. And by the way, there's a spectrum, right, between someone who like fully renounces their faith and like boozes and drinks and eats pork and has girlfriends and, you know, maybe loses.
No, because they've apostated from the faith.
There's a spectrum.
No, as soon as they do that, they are saying that the laws prescribed to them. Hold on. No, it's not a spectrum. It's not a spectrum. Because as soon as you say this religion, which is given to us by Almighty God, this legislation that God has revealed to us, I'm no longer going to follow. That proves to me that you no longer take your religion sincerely enough to believe it's from God.
It's not just a religion, right? Because like obviously we're using the word Muslim, but what we're talking about really is like a broader cultural phenomenon. Because you can have Muslims or like people from Muslim families that renounce elements of the faith, renounce elements of the
You're the next guy. Come on.
You don't know, you just picked him up.
They renounce.
Why not?
Yeah. I'm expecting a bit of
They renounce elements of the faith. But they say keep touch with the Arabic. Maybe they don't eat pork. Like we've all. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've
They're just Arabic then.
I'm certainly. Yeah, but you have a problem with immigration as a whole. So all this is irrelevant.
No, okay. So I have an issue with immigration as a whole.
I know
the
you do,
reason why I do, but
it's dog shit, mate.
No, it's not. Don't be rude.
what's wrong with the message? Prioritize Britain.
He thinks that if an equal number of immigrants come into this country were just women and children,
Yeah, absolutely.
would you not then vilify those men?
I don't think kids are typically raping people.
Yeah, no. They've kind of seized on a convenient bit of data.
I don't understand.
How is that convenient? So if you look, for example, the Parliament of 2020, if you look at prior to Brexit, we had the Dublin Trade Agreement, in which case we had a low amount of immigrants because they couldn't take advantage of a poor system. Now, because the Conservatives cocked it up in terms of a Brexit agreement, and because Nigel refused to work with the Conservatives for a good Brexit agreement, what you saw is men taking advantage of a broken system. Now, I don't blame the immigrants, although I will blame the ones that commit crimes against the native British population. What I will do is firstly blame the NGOs in Calais for facilitating their transport to Dover, and I will blame the British government, both the Conservatives and the Labour Party, for cocking up immigration for how they performed on Brexit and for refusing to remove the pull factors of immigration. So, for example, dependencies on work and student visas. Because that's how most agencies get people here illegally.
One of the main pull factors for people coming here from like third world countries is that we speak English.
Okay. So do other most European countries, and I don't see. Hold on. How is
you say that? I don't know.
How is someone who's Somalian who doesn't speak good English? How is a pull factor of them coming to the UK the fact that they speak English?
So we speak English.
Yeah.
Because they can communicate with other people in society, and it makes their life easier.
They have broken English.
Yeah, they have broken English, right? But like we have quote unquote perfect English, which is better than going to like Germany or Hungary. I mean France, like in places that are not like urban centres and stuff, often don't speak English.
No, but the people they're dealing with, like NGOs, they have translators.
What? Sorry?
Okay, so NGOs, so the people that they deal with, they'll either have translators.
They don't want to rely on like having an NGO translator around for every single.
But why? You're fleeing persecution. If you're fleeing persecution, I don't care how uncomfortable you are that you can't communicate with the people that well. If you are between going to a European country that speaks French to a country that you could be killed in, which one would you prefer?
But the whole point that you seem to have missed is that isn't the option because they can go to lots of different countries.
Okay, so you admit that there are multiple options for people to claim asylum.
So we for the last like 2 minutes, I've been explaining to you why it is they come to the UK. So
because they speak English?
You can't do this whole bit where it's like, so you admit that there's lots of places and they do
No.
come to the UK.
What I'm saying is,
telling you they come here because
you've admitted there is a pull factor. I don't care about pull factors.
Why did you bring them up?
Oh, is it the alarm? Yeah. Wait, can I see?
World War III! So the national alarm is now going off.